I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Jarvis was allegedly touched by this woman right here. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear is only allegedly. Now, I put this demonstration on members only because I want to reward my members. This is one of the perks that come along with purchasing a membership to the platform. And if you would like to purchase a membership, click on the $ symbol and it will allow you to purchase a membership. Now, I will make this available to the public. It will be available to the public, but this is for members only. I want to reward the members only. So you all will have first dividends. You all will have access to this demonstration first. Now, let's jump into this. We are now at the bottom of the rabbit hole in the Nazaria Harris case. Now, I've been exposing some of the characters in this case. See, on the front surface of things, we only hear about Annette, which is the grandmother, Shannon, which is the aunt, Jarvis, of course, which is the suspect, Marquita, which is Shannon twin, Roxy, Janelle, Kiwana, and Roxy's mother, Kenya, which is family. But there are other characters that's in this case as well. Now, many of you all reached out to me to find out who was it that allegedly touched Jarvis, because it's said that Jarvis was touched at 13 years old. And there is a video out there allegedly of Jarvis's son, and Jarvis' son speaks on his father, Jarvis, being touched by his mother. Now, this is a picture of the woman that allegedly touched Jarvis. That's a picture of the woman that allegedly touched Jarvis. And she goes by the name of Tanika. We're going to just say Tanika for right now. Now, why wasn't she prosecuted? And if you go back to the evangelist, if you go back to the Kenneth Greer dude, how is it that these predators, how was it that they were able to get around being prosecuted? When you go to the 40 years of CPS in this case, CPS dropped the ball. The Detroit Police Department dropped the ball. Is it a conspiracy behind all of this? I believe so, and I know many of you believe so. It's bigger than Jarvis Butts. Jarvis is just a scapegoat. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Jarvis is just a scapegoat. Now, there's not much that I have on this woman, the alleged woman that touched Jarvis, but I was informed that she has other children, and those children were taken from her. And it is said the reason why they didn't prosecute her was because she suffers from some kind of mental illness, strong possibility she could be autistic. My thing is this. My thing is this. You mean to tell me that because a person has a mental disorder or a person may be autistic, you mean to tell me that they don't know right from wrong? One thing that I learned about society. This is one thing that I learned about society. Society has a way with bashing the victims. Society has a way of compromising with those that perpetrated crimes against the victims. Like, you could commit a crime, right? You could commit a crime. The evidence could be right there. But in the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, there's the evidence right there. Then, even when you are convicted, they use taxpayers' dollars to take care of you. Not only that, if the person that's charged with the crime, if they feel as though they want to take a plea deal, then they could take the plea deal and receive a lesser sentence for this crime. In my opinion, there shouldn't be no plea bargains. That's just me now. That's just me. Because if I commit a crime and I'm facing 40 years and I got a way of receiving 10 years or 8 years over the 40 years, I'm going to plea. And that's what happens in the majority of these cases. Now back to Jarvis and this woman that allegedly molested him, allegedly touched him. If it's true, if it's true, and I do believe that it's true, if it's true, now that the public knows about this, now we have a face and a name to put to the woman that allegedly touched Jarvis. Will the state of Michigan, will they bring up charges against this woman? I believe it was, I think it was what, over 20 years ago or maybe 30 years. No, it was over 30 years ago. It has the statute of limitations ran out, is what I want to know. But there you all have it. This is the woman that allegedly touched Jarvis when Jarvis was 13 years old. And just like the rest of these characters, you can pretty much look at her and see that she's not working with a full deck. However, she still knows right from wrong. See, here's my thing. Here's my thing. If a person can feed themselves, if a person, and in these cases, let's just cut straight to the meat. If a person can identify with, or if a person can perform a sexual act on another person, that right there lets me know that they do have a sense of comprehension. Let me just say that. They can comprehend very well when it comes to sex. Now, what are we going to say about that? What are we going to say about that? They can comprehend how to have sex, can't they? So you mean to tell me they can't comprehend on who to have sex with? Now, allegedly, let me say this, allegedly, this is the reason why Miss Annette moved from one house to another house, because allegedly the Kenneth great guy, when no charges was filed against him, when no charges was filed against the 40-year-old or 20-year-old man that touched Naziah, Miss Annette chose to move to another house. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they're saying. And you all have to keep in mind that it's a lot of information out here. It's a lot of information out here. Some of the information is false. So us as content creators, we got to dig. When we get this information, we got to dig through the information to find out what's true and what's not true. And then some of the things we're unable to tell whether or not it's true. So if you hear something from a platform and if later on it comes out that it was false, don't take shots at the content creators. However, some content creators, they willingly put false information out there. And let me say that as well. All right. But y'all let me know on the replay gang, what do y'all think? Because now with this, we are at the bottom of the rabbit hole. Now we see Jarvis when he was the victim. Because if he was touched at 13 years old, he was a victim. He was a victim. Now we got to look at that still didn't give him a right. Still didn't give him a right to hurt Naziah Harris and those other little girls. But this is sick. This is sick. This is a very, very sick situation, y'all. All these people in one little small community that was touched as a child. Hurt people hurt people. So now they grow up hurting people. And then the people that they hurt, they grow up hurting people. And then the cycle continues, and continues. When will it stop? Will it stop? Who will put an end to it? Who will put an end to this? So once again, this was a members only demonstration. I felt like I needed to reward my members. I mean, you all purchased a membership. So I wanted to reward you all. I wanted to give y'all access first to the woman that allegedly touched Jarvis. I'll leave the chat running. Y'all can hang around. Salute, and I'll see y'all on the next demonstration.